What's up, guys? It's Meg, and it's that time of the week again where we get to look dead ahead to see what's coming on next week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead. Today we're predicting what's going to happen in episode 104 called Not Fade Away. First off, I want to apologize for any background noise you hear during this video. There is like fencing and construction going on right behind you, and it just can't be helped, so I apologize ahead of time. There were two promos for this episode, one being kind of an all-around glimpses of different parts of the episode, and then another one with a very specific scene with Madison, which I'm really excited to see play out in the episode. So let's start with the first promo. So at the start of this promo, we hear Daniel's voice in the background saying, if it happens, it will happen quickly. And so he's trying to figure out what exactly he's talking about, what in reference, what's it in reference to. I think that Daniel is probably very skeptical of the military being there for good reason. I think that he's witnessed something like this before, probably when he was back in El Salvador, and I think he knows that, like he said in the end of the last episode, it's too late. It's already too late. The military at this point cannot help what's going on, and it's probably just going to get worse from here. So if what happens, it will happen quickly. He may be talking about the disease spreading quickly. If that's what he means, he may also be talking about the military rounding the citizens up, or the military turning bad. I mean, there's so many options here, and without seeing in what context he's talking, what he's talking about and how the conversation is going, we're just hearing a brief portion of probably the entire sentence that he's saying. So I'm not entirely sure what it means, but the virus could spread quickly, or chaos could spread quickly, or the police could go bad quickly. There's a variety of things that could happen here. For my guess, this is the episode where we're going to start to see the downfall of the police and the military and how things turn bad, because at the beginning of this episode and the end of last episode, it seemed like the military was being very helpful, but now, during this preview with Madison, which we'll talk about in just a minute, it seems like the military have turned bad. They're not people that you want to mess with. You want to hide from them. Things don't seem to be going well. So the preview continues on, and one of the military guys has rounded up the neighbors and said, "You guys are the lucky ones." And just the way he says it is just, I'm like, you guys are not lucky. You need to leave. Like, this is not a good thing that's happening here. And I feel like this guy is probably rounding them up to say, we're evacuating you, and there's going to be citizens who do not want to leave, or they're going to quarantine these citizens there and not allow them to leave and make up some like, you guys are lucky because we're here to protect you and save you. We then see one of the military guys talking to Ophelia, and he seems to be a bit more honest with her, and we don't know what brought her out of the house to talk to him and how this conversation started, but he says that they're stockpiling for the big push to take the city back. So it seems like they are trying to, sorry, there's somebody staring at me from the window. This is really awkward filming this. I'm having a terrible time at it. People keep walking back and forth, and I've got the curtains like halfway shut here, but they keep looking in, and it's kind of embarrassing. That's why I'm kind of turning a little red here. Anyways, so sorry, you guys. Obviously things have gone crazy in this city with all of the rioting. That one specific spot where the Salazar's barbershop is not the only place where this was happening. And the military and the police, they've lost control. And I think at this point they're trying to take back the city, and I think that's what he's talking about. Stockpiling, I'm guessing they're taking supplies and things like that. Obviously, Ophelia is really concerned. Then we see the military storm Madison and Travis's house. They're in there. It's nighttime. We see Travis yelling and saying it's just an old man and a kid. And then we see Nick getting hit with hit by one of the guys with their gun and knocked down. So obviously, this is like this point where we're seeing things are starting to go bad. You cannot trust these guys because they're all about containment right now. They're not about protecting the citizens, which I've thought from the very beginning when we saw Patrick holding Susan and they took him away, and they never admitted to what happened to him. I believe firmly that they're just killing everyone that has like the potential to be infected. And if you go back to The Walking Dead, and we saw in season 4, because no, season 5 for, oh my God, I'm the worst Walking Dead fan ever. When we hear the story of Atlanta and Beth in the hospital and these different things, they were telling a story to Beth about how they evacuated all of the hospital, you know, people to, and all of the people of the city to the park there, and then they dropped the was it napalm bombs on the people to kind of, they killed everyone, but they were trying to contain this disease, and this was happening all over. You know, we see back with Shane and Lori when they're looking on Atlanta and they see them drop the bombs. You know, they're trying to contain this rather than, like, their point right now is not to save people, and they may act like it, but their point is to contain this virus so that it doesn't spread, because they know, they're realizing, and they're not telling anyone, but they know just how bad this is. And so, you know, that's what it is. They're getting rid of anyone who potentially came into contact with it. And they may, you know, obviously there's some kind of conflict that's going to be happening with Travis and Madison, you know, and their family and the military. Moving on to the second sneak peek, we see Madison kind of running through a neighborhood that seems empty, and she comes around a corner and it looks kind of like she's sneaking a little bit, you know, and she comes around a corner and the smell is just overwhelming. I love that we see her cringe at the smell, because in The Walking Dead, you know, our characters are so used to this smell and how bad it is that they never cringe at it. We never see them affected by it at all. And so sometimes we tend to forget that it probably smells really bad right now in season 6 of The Walking Dead. But they're so used to it, you know, that they're nose blind to it. That's a thing. But, you know, Madison's not at that point yet, and she comes around the corner and there's just bodies everywhere in the street. I counted at least 12 of them. And these are not people who were infected. These are people who, they were holding guns. They were in their car trying to leave, and they all have bullet wounds to the head. They don't look like they were infected at all. And so obviously, you know, this particular sneak peek made me think, well, maybe they're not allowing anyone to leave, that they've shut this neighborhood down, shut the city down. They're not allowing anyone to leave. It's a quarantine. And maybe these people were trying to take back their homes, trying to evacuate and leave because they didn't want to be a part of this. And they were shot down by these guys. So, you know, Madison is there and she's seeing this, and all of a sudden, the guys come, you know, they're in a tank and they're walking and they're coming towards them, and she hides under the car. And so now it's like they're probably checking these bodies to see, you know, to make sure that they have head wounds and stuff. So are they going to see Madison under there? It's a really intense moment. And she's under the car and there's another body next to her, and she's really affected by the smell and stuff. And so I'm interested what prompted her to go out, you know, away from her house and look around. All in all, I think this is going to be a great episode. It's just going to keep getting better and better. We still have a few episodes left, and I'm excited for it. At the very end, I forgot to mention, at the very end of the first promo, we see what we believe is Griselda being taken away on a stretcher with Liza next to her. It looked like she was wearing different clothes, but you could see the rosary she had on her neck, and then Liza's right there, so we know that must be her. Now, you don't see Daniel, and we're not sure what the circumstances are with them moving her. I can't imagine Daniel would be okay with them taking Griselda away to a hospital or wherever without him going along. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, are they forcing her to leave? Are they saying we're taking her no matter what you say? Are they storming the house and then finding Griselda there, you know, injured, and then, you know, I don't know. It'll be very interesting to see, because I can't imagine Daniel would go anywhere separate from her, but we don't see any of her actual family there when they're removing her on a stretcher. That's it. This is a really long Deadhead predictions. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm kind of all over the place. I'm really excited for the next episode. Let me know what your predictions are down in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time. I hope you have a great day. Bye.